Hello everyone, I'm Game.Film and today I am reviewing Resident Evil 5, a 2009 release from Capcom. Now, I truly think it's one of the best co-op games ever. A great game overall. It brings the action, cool monsters, and bought the body gore, but it's aged a little poorly in the graphics, the facial animations, and it lacks the scares from the previous entries. Now, I'll be reading some background history of the game from this book called Resident Evil Zombies and Men Volume 1. It has a ton of juicy facts, quotes from the developers about making each game, and I highly recommend you guys get a copy of this book if you're a fan of Resident Evil and the whole series. But let's jump right into it. So just a quick backstory of the first experience of me playing this game. I was managing a Radio Shack at the time, and as a manager there, I mean, I got lazier and lazier knowing the company treated its employees like shit, and it was like in a constant downfall. I didn't like the least amount to like not get fired, you know. But anyways, my coworker brought his gaming laptop to work one day, and it was like the first experience of me seeing and playing on one. I thought it was like the coolest thing, and he suggested we play Resident Evil 5, and holy hell, it was like one of the funnest times of gaming in my life. Just chilling in the back room, um, helping like a customer here and there, you know. So yeah, great first time experience playing that game. But now let's talk about the development of the game. I'll be reading from the book I mentioned in the beginning of this video, and the development of the new game was supposed to be based around two main themes. The first was to refine the gameplay of Resident Evil 4, which was lauded at the time, and the second was to create a story that revealed everything about the origins of the virus produced by Umbrella. As the quote, cradle of humanity, the African continent seemed to be the right kind of place for a story that revealed the origins of the T-virus. The African setting also encouraged the developers to provide a real sensation of travel by radically alternating between different climatic conditions and day and nighttime scenes. As such, Resident Evil 5 positioned itself as the perfect contrast with Resident Evil 1, which enclosed its action within a mansion, cut off from the world. Also, in an effort to give the production a cinematic feel, the colors were also highly saturated. Now, when the first few videos of gameplay came out, there was some criticism out there saying, a white male shooting Africans. But this criticism is so stupid, completely unfounded, because like there was like zero outrage about Leon, a white male, killing Latinos in Resident Evil 4. Like the same people were not outraged at all, and like you know the heads of Umbrella are like old white males, and even Wesker is like a blonde hair white guy. It's like, come on, dude. I wanted to point out one odd moment though. What is this bougie blonde haired white woman doing here? I say bougie because of the dress she's wearing. All of the bad guys light skinned, I'm assuming he is African. Was that really necessary to use a white person there? Seems very strange to me, but anyways. Some more production notes from the book. The game's cinematic sequences were entrusted to an American studio, Just Cause Productions. Initially, they were performed entirely by real actors, motion capture of facial expressions, voice recordings, camera placements, etc., in a process known as a, quote, real-time capture system that could instantly convert the acting scenes into basic 3D. Two actors were needed to play each other, one for the action on the video storyboard and another for the facial motion capture and voice acting. As we have already seen, when it came to the gameplay, the developers wanted to expand on the foundations laid by the fourth game. As such, it was still not possible to aim while moving, a decision made in the developers' own words to retain a certain Resident Evil feel, despite them also placing a greater focus on action inspired in particular by the gameplay in Gears of War. And while the game was initially designed as a single-player adventure, the designers thought they could improve it by rebuilding the game design around a co-op mode. This is why in single-player the character is accompanied by an AI-controlled Sheva, while in local or online multiplayer she could be controlled by a second player. Co-op mode also introduced an additional source of stress, with the need for both players to work together. The game would be completed with two sets of downloadable content, the second of which, Lost in Nightmares, contained a nod to the first game in the series. Chris, Jill, and Wesker find themselves in an old mansion, and players could choose a preset camera mode for fixed viewpoints, not to mention the many enjoyable, quote, Easter eggs found therein. On to the pros and cons of the game. One major criticism folks have with this game is it strays even farther away from survival horror, as it continues to go down the action-heavy RE4 route. Yeah, that's a little disappointing, yes, but that does not make it a bad game. There are some Resident Evil purists out there that dismiss the game entirely because of the action-oriented gameplay, and I think that is unfair. There are still tons of tense moments in the game. You can get overwhelmed in a hurry, and let me show you what I mean by that in a clip from my recent playthrough. Oh my god! I'm in there, I'm in there. Go, 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 go! Press it, press circle, press circle! Wow, dude, we're stuck, we're stuck. Damn. That wasn't fair. So yeah, the game can get scary if you don't take out enemies quickly. The key for me was to shoot and move and never get stuck in a corner. And also shoot to wound them, get them stunned, and then do a melee attack. Now on to the enemies and monsters in this game. I think they look super cool, fucked up, gross. I'm a big fan of body horror. This enemy here looks influenced from a creature from Blade 2. Not totally similar, but look at the mouth, man. It opens up in kind of the same way. Some enemies can do range attacks. Be careful of those. Here's another guy. Really cool. They brought back the chainsaw guy from Resident Evil 4. If this is your first time playing it, you will absolutely be terrified. These guys are relentless and chase you constantly. And you got the lickers. They're a staple in the Resident Evil series. Absolutely terrifying as well. The dogs also make a return and have a second form, which will completely fuck you up if you get too close. So cool. And lastly, here's one of my favorite enemies of the game. It's called the Reaper. Nobody likes a cockroach. I've never met somebody that likes a cockroach. They're disgusting, and this enemy is a cockroach that was infected with the Ouroboros virus. I think they did a great job on the creature design here. Do not get close to this enemy either. The death animation is one of the best in the entire Resident Evil series. It's so great. I think the gameplay and action are great. The controls are a little outdated, but they feel really tight. I say outdated because you can't move while shooting. Nobody really does that anymore, but that does give the game some added tension, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Learn that 180-degree quick turnaround move. That move will save your life in this game. It'll help you get out of most sticky situations. I think one other strength of this game is the variety of weapons. We've got pistols, magnums, semi-auto and automatic shotguns, submachine guns, sniper rifles, a grenade launcher that has 6 different types of ammo, assault rifles, 3 different grenades, and a proximity bomb. A few minor things about this game that I don't care for, like the setting's okay, right? But like the graphics and colors leave something to be desired. Like it just looks drab to me. Like the colors don't really pop. Like I am definitely not remembering this game by the way it looks. I also hate how Chris Redfield looks. He looks like a fucking cartoon, man. He's such like a meathead. His biceps is just so jacked, dude. It's just a cartoon character. Yeah, I could do without that. I also think the facial animations and dialogue are not that great either. Maybe the facial animations haven't aged well or something, but I absolutely lost it in my recent playthrough. I'm going to show you a clip of Chris and Jill in this cutscene. Take a look.
You need to stop him. Chris.
Huh?
You're the only one who can.
he had to think about it for a second, and she pushed him like, "Yes, you."
They need to get a room.
Look at Chris. Like Chris doesn't know what to do. He's like, "Huh? All right." He says one word. He says one word. Real quick, I wanted to mention the boss fights in this game. I think most of them are good. I absolutely hated the fight with the ogre though. Here's some gameplay of that. You just point and shoot, press the right button to dodge over and over, and I definitely think it's one of the worst boss fights in the series. Did not like it at all. So in the middle of editing this, I had a clip of another late game boss fight that was very frustrating because I feel like it's like a puzzle. You gotta hit the enemy in specific ways, hit him with fire at moments, but plus I was a little inebriated, so I commend the game for making it like a puzzle fight in a way, but I think it's on the player to figure it out. Let me post this clip of the boss fight because I was so relieved that my partner and I finally did it. Are you serious?
You killed it! Well, I didn't.
That's all we gotta do? We've been shooting those fucking bulbs behind his back we've been shooting all this shit that's coming out of here. We've been shooting it this whole time. Okay, we're approaching the end of this review, but I gotta talk about quick time events or QTEs. There are moments in the game where a prompt flashes on the screen. You gotta press that button really fast. If not, you die. And I'm not a huge fan of them. I think this game does it right sometimes. They're hit or miss, but I just want to post some of my favorite moments of my partner and I dying multiple times. Enjoy. Oh my, I pressed the wrong button. That was me. I pressed the wrong button. That was on you. That was you. That wasn't me. What? What? I pressed it. Fuck that.
You're supposed to press A and D!
I did press it. Oh, come on. Well, that about does it for this video. I highly recommend Resident Evil 5 with a friend. It makes the game experience way more fun. You'll have so many more laugh out loud moments. Plus, working together adds a whole different dynamic to the game. I played it with the fellow streamer. Her name's Uchiha0614. Give her a follow on Twitch. She's a very chill variety streamer and has a great community. It's very hard for me to memorize a script, as you can probably tell. I'm looking at my script now, kind of looking at the camera half-assed, but I didn't have much gameplay from my recent playthrough, so I took gameplay from a YouTuber named RabidRetrospectGames. I'll leave a link to that video in the description. That allowed me to talk and read the script off camera, and it just made this review so much easier for me. As it stands now, Resident Evil 5 is the best-selling game in the franchise at 14.5 million plus units sold. I just wanted to mention that because even if you think the game sucks, it did put a lot of people onto this amazing series, and that does count for something, right? I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be focusing more on game and film reviews this year instead of streaming, just FYI. Like this video, sub to the channel, leave a comment. The YouTube algorithm is harsh, and those three things really help me out in the long run. You can find me across Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Hover. I am active on those daily. So thank you guys for watching. Happy New Year, and take care. Peace.